As I recall, Your Honor.
as you recall. In this instance, what is your participation po in the handing over of the check? Do you foresee the encashment? Do you oversee the depositing? Ano po yung inyong interaction with the SDO in relation to this?
Your Honor, ang naging task po ng accounting sa issuance ng cash advance is only for processing. For
Meaning,
processing of disbursement voucher, not for issuance of check.
not for the issuance of the check, but the processing of the disbursement voucher. So, ano po yung procedure for the processing of the disbursement voucher?
In the processing of a disbursement voucher for confidential fund, it should be supported by all the required supporting documents as stated or as required in the Joint Circular 2015-01.
So, when you say po, hindi po kayo involved sa issuing of the check, are you somehow involved in the encashment or depositing of the check?
For encashment and depositing of the check, it is the SDO,
The
Your
SDO.
Honor.
So, no participation required on your part doon sa SDO. They don't need any clearance from you. They don't need you to sign off on anything. It's purely the responsibility of the SDO in line with the provisions of the Joint Circular. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Okay. With that, are you aware of the procedure? Just on personal knowledge, kapag tinatanggap na po ng SDO, of course, we'd like to ask the SDO himself or herself these questions, but given na wala po sila, we'd like to ask you as Chief Accountant, kasi po, I hope you understand, minsan nalilito rin po kami as not actually practitioners in this field. Marami pong accountants and auditors pala po no, within one office. But it's understandable na special po in confidential funds. So in relation to confidential funds po, Ms. Villa del Rey, you mentioned that you have no participation in the encashment and no participation in depositing of any sorts. But are you aware of the procedure of the SDO? Ano pong ginagawa po niya pag nakatanggap ng cheque for the confidential funds?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, hindi ko po alam. Bali, ang task ko lang po talaga is to process the issuance of cash advance for
Okay.
the confidential fund.
Sige po. Ms. Villa del Rey, ayon po sa GAM, required pong mag-institute ng internal mechanisms or internal controls ng OVP to safeguard po yung mga cash advances. And I would assume this would also apply to confidential funds. Are you aware of any safeguards that are being implemented for the OVP's confidential funds?
For the regular funds, Your Honor, yes, we have po controls. Like it should be liquidated within 15 days from issuance or upon completion of the activity.
For the regular fund. But for
Regular
confidential
fund.
funds, are you aware of any controls that you might have implemented as chief accountant?
Yes, Your Honor, according to Joint Circular, there should be reportorial requirements like for accounting, the issuance of cash advance is, or upon disbursement of the cash advance, it should be submitted to the audit team, resident auditor, within 7 days from issuance, to Your Honor, including all supporting documents.
Ms. Villa del Rey, when you mentioned resident auditor, you're talking about the resident auditor of the COA? Tama po ba?
Tama po.
Okay. So, do you have any participation in the vetting or authentication or going through the supporting documents ng confidential funds?
Supporting documents, Your Honor, for the issuance of cash advance.
Issuance of cash advance only. Pero for the liquidation, wala na po kayong kinalaman.
Wala na po, Your Honor.
So, you would not be involved with the documentary evidence of payment for yung mga acknowledgement receipts, etc., etc.
No, Your Honor, based on joint circular, it should be the responsibility of the special disbursing officer.
And never at any point, even procedurally, dumaan po itong mga SDs or DEPs sa kamay po ninyo. This is directly between the SDO and the resident auditor. Tama po ba?
The DBs of the issuance of cash advance, yun po ang dumaan sa accounting sa akin. Other DBs na nagkaroon ang disbursement ng confidential fund, hindi po dumaan sa accounting, Your Honor.
By DVs, you mean yung disbursement vouchers po? Tama.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you, as chief accountant, are you required to review a journal entry voucher?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does this apply for confidential funds?
Yes, Your Honor, upon recording of the issuance of cash advance.
So upon the issuance of cash advance, this is still related to the disbursement voucher lang po.
Yes, Your
Tama.
Honor.
And when you review the journal entry voucher, you have to certify it. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So ano po yung nalalaman ng certification na ito?
For the certification of the issuance of cash advance, uh, in the voucher, Your Honor, it is stated that there should be cash available and supporting documents complete and proper.
So when you issue po yung disbursement voucher, is it a requirement, for example? Because I understand yung ating confidential funds is, except for 2022 po, no, which was issued by virtue of yung contingent fund na nilipat, under the GAA po, yung confidential funds natin for 2023. Tama po. Is it a requirement in the subsequent disbursement vouchers that you would have to certify na inubos po yung previous quarter?
Yes, Your Honor, before the issuance of another cash advance.
And how do you verify po na naubos yung previous disbursement voucher, yung previous cash advance?
Sir, for the liquidation of previous cash advance, it is stated in the joint circular and also ito lang po, din po yung naging basis ko, the received transmittal copy of the supporting documents duly stamped by ICPAW.
Okay, so ang procedure po natin is the SDO will submit the liquidation report to the resident auditor, the ICFA will stamp and then provide it po to you, Mr. Villidere. Is it provided to you by the SDO or by the COA po?
By the SDO, sir.
Si SDO. And when you receive this stamped copy po ng liquidation report, ministerial na lang po yung pag-issue po ninyo ng disbursement voucher for the next quarter. Tama po ba?
Not the liquidation report, Your
Oh,
Honor,
sorry.
only the transmittal. Listing po lahat ng documentary requirements, all reports and certifications submitted to ICPAW.
So, yung listing na po ito, how many pages ang document na ito?
I think, kung tama pa yung pagkaka-recall ko, it's 3 pages po.
So, manipis lang po. So, talagang walang liquidation report, walang AR, walang SD. It's just the letter of transmittal lang po. Parang ganun.
Tama po.
Okay. So, in that case po, in relation to the GAM and the joint circular, what is it that you would record in the books as chief accountant? It's really just disbursement to the SDO.
Your Honor, ang recording ko po sa book is the issuance of the cash advance when issued to the SDO and the liquidation of the cash advance upon receipt of the transmittal duly received by ICPAW.
Okay. Ms. Villidere, as chief accountant, you would confirm that there is a general ledger.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the general ledger, the purpose is to keep a record of all of these. Would that include the supporting documents?
No, Your Honor.
So before you make an entry in the general ledger, do you have to go through the supporting documents?
Only for cash advance, Your Honor.
So for cash advance. In this case po, sa confidential funds, this is one such cash advance po, no? So
Yes.
before you enter it in the general ledger, what documents would you be requiring before you make that entry in the general ledger?
Before entering into to the general ledger, sir, we will the basis of our recording is the report of the checks issued from our cash division and the copy of the disbursement voucher together with the supporting documents.
Okay, checks issued, disbursement voucher, and supporting documents. Can you give us an example? Ano po yung SDs that are relevant to this entry?
SD
Anong supporting documents po
Supporting
na binabanggit
documents.
po ninyo?
Yes, sir. For the issuance of cash advance, supporting documents required